Number 2, creatine. Creatine is not only important for putting on muscle, it's actually quite an important molecule for brain function. Watch this video to learn more about the importance of creatine and dosage requirements. I will also link it along with all other videos that I mentioned in the description box below. Also know that vegans and vegetarians have been shown to have less creatine than their omnivore or meat-eating counterparts.
So she doesn't really provide any sources for her creatine claims. However, creatine is something that I've recommended athletes take if they possess the goal of optimizing strength, muscle, and athletic performance. Let it be known that creatine is something widely taken by non-vegan athletes already. I, for one, was taking creatine as a meat eater and still do today as a vegan, and it was purely for athletic reasons. One of the main reasons that meat eaters who possess athletic goals are still recommended to take creatine is because during the process of cooking animal foods comprised of creatine, a large portion of creatine is converted into creatinine. Whether vegans who aren't athletes should be supplementing creatine is not totally clear at the moment, but there is some data suggesting creatine monohydrate supplementation can result in cognitive benefits. Similar to the taurine case, if it were discovered that vegans, athlete or not, could benefit from creatine supplementation, I would recommend they participate in it.
I'm so glad that this clown gave me the opportunity to show you what you're going to see today. Today we're going to look at the synthetic production of creatine and get a realistic idea of what exactly that entails, which should, if you've got your wits about you, raise questions about whether synthetic creatine is something that should even be a thing at all, let alone something that the human race should consider being dependent upon in perpetuity. So let me show you what the vegans are actually selling you here. See, you can either consume foods that naturally contain healthy amounts of creatine, like red meats and fish, or you can go vegan and depend on synthetic supplements. One of the problems with synthetic supplements is that vegans refuse to be honest with you about the products and processes that are required to produce synthetic supplements. So what I did was I painstakingly mapped out the products and processes required to bring synthetic creatine into existence so you can more clearly see how deceptive the vegan narrative is regarding these supplements that they depend upon and would like to force you to depend upon. Now, before I show you this, realize that when a vegan talks about their beloved synthetic nutrients, they'll often make the claim that these supplements are made in a lab. This description, in the minds of veganism's victims, conjures up visions of men in white robes whipping up supplements out of thin air, perhaps using a glass beaker and maybe a top hat. However, the truth is far more dirty, destructive, and terrible. This flowchart illustrates the general products and processes required to produce synthetic creatine. Do you think that the vegans will ever tell you that destructive coal mines are required to make synthetic creatine? Do you think that the vegans will ever tell you that destructive limestone quarries are required to make synthetic creatine? Do you think that the vegans will ever tell you how methane-reliant manufacturing synthetic creatine is? Not only is it used as raw material, but every step of this process requires massive amounts of electricity, methane, and heat. So no, vegan creatine is not made in an environment that looks like this. So-called vegan creatine in reality comes from an environment that looks like this, and this, and this, and this, and this. So let me know in the comments, which one of these sources of creatine do you think is better for you, the animals, and the environment? And thanks for watching.